This video is about do-it-yourself methods to control rats. Before I go into the do-it-yourself methods themselves, I'd just like to go through some background. Rats and mice have been around with humans since time immemorial. Rats and their cousins mice are attracted to the warmth, shelter and food in our homes. Just like cats, the rats may be single, hoarders, or have a family or even a colony. They tend to live in closed spaces where they cannot be easily seen and where they feel safe. Typically these spaces include baseboards, in cupboards, basements and garages. From an ethical point of view, the rats are only trying to get on with their own lives, and obviously they have no concept of abstract ideas such as property rights or home ownership. I believe it's important to take into consideration that animals are, in a sense, sentient beings. But in weighing up the interests of you and your family versus the interests of these creatures, it may become necessary to deal with rat infestations in a decisive and appropriate way, especially if the health or well-being of your family is at risk. In consideration of this, these are the top methods to deal with the rat infestation. Catch and release traps. One of the most ethical DIY methods of dealing with rat pest control is the catch and release trap for rats. You simply catch the rat in a non-lethal trap and release it somewhere else. Naturally, it is important to either seal up all potential entrances to your home or release the mouse or rat far enough away that it won't likely navigate its way back. There are many commercially available catch and release traps in the market, although not as many as normal rat traps. This is one such commercially available trap. On the right hand side is a tray in which you'd put the food for the rat, and when you close it, the rat would come along, sniff the food and eventually find its way in on the far left, going to the end of a tunnel and then falling down a trapdoor into the main part of the cage from which he cannot escape. You can then take the rat away and drop him off far away from the home by releasing the cage door on the right. Here's a design of a rat trap that you can make at home. Just follow the example here. Just stop the video as and when you need to just check on details. As you can see, it's a bucket with a cantilever lid on top with an offset pin. The bottom of the T-piece has a counterweight to make sure that the corrugated cardboard is flat. Once the pin is in place, the rat would walk along, the top piece is indicated and fall into the bucket. Here's an example coming up of what the rats do. The second non-invasive and ethical way of dealing with rats is to use peppermint oil. Humans generally enjoy the smell of peppermint. Rats and mice, on the other hand, certainly do not. To apply this pest control method, purchase some peppermint oil, and if it is highly concentrated, dilute it, or simply use it as is. Obtain an empty spray bottle and put the mixture in the spray bottle, spraying it wherever you believe the rats to be, or where they may frequent in your house. Alternatively, you could also soak cotton balls in the mixture. This works best if the mixture is strong and undiluted, and place these soaked balls in strategic places along baseboards or entry points to your home. This is a particularly useful strategy if you are unable to seal up entry and exit points into the home. Note, there is one caveat or warning to follow with the use of peppermint oil, and that is if you have domestic pets. These pets may be sensitive and react to the oil, so it's a good idea just to check their reaction after putting out the oil and see if it affects them adversely or not. The third non-lethal method of rat control is the use of ultrasonic devices. These devices are typically quite small and relatively inexpensive, and they plug directly into the electrical sockets in your wall. They emit a very high frequency pitch, so high that it is beyond the hearing of humans, and therefore for us it is, for all intents and purposes, silent. Rats and mice, on the other hand, have very fine senses of hearing, and this disturbs them and deters them from remaining where they are. It is this method that persuades them to take up residence somewhere else and to leave your abode. Cats have the potential of offering a wonderful pest control method. If you have a cat or would like one as a pet, they are fantastic at controlling an infestation of rats or mice. Whilst this can sometimes be lethal for the rats or mice, it is a natural process, and once the rats smell that there is a resident cat, they will most likely avoid your home entirely. It naturally goes without saying that you should generally avoid any rat poison strategies whilst you have a cat or other pets in the house, unless of course you are using the services of an expert. The fifth method of choice in the control of rat infestations is the use of traditional traps. This method should only be considered when the non-lethal methods previously discussed are shown not to work, and it's therefore one of the last resort options. We've all come across the traditional mouse traps that break the animal's neck instantly. More recent variations are electrocution traps. However, I would avoid the sticky traps that glue the animal, because these are highly unethical and, in my opinion, quite cruel. The last of the main pest control methods discussed in this video is the use of a professional pest control company. If you're really overwhelmed by your rat infestation and you're unable to control it, or if you're not comfortable with using the methods previously discussed, you could call in a professional pest control service. Although professionals tend to use lethal and, after all, highly effective methods, some companies do offer humane removal and pest control services, and I'd recommend that you discuss this option with any company that you may choose. To wrap up, outside the home, rats and mice are cute and fairly harmless. When they become unwelcome guests in your home, however, it's a problem that requires active management. I hope you found this video informative, and if you'd like to find out any further information, please come to the website, the address of which is listed below this video.